Hey, everybody, welcome to Relationship Game Changers, where we talk about those truths and principles that transcend gender, race, economics, education, political parties, religious affiliation, and anything else you can think of that is divisive of humanity. Hey, well, listen, I want to just talk to you for a few minutes about something that is just amazing to me. You know, you ask almost any couple what they believe the top problems are in marriage or in a husband and wife relationship, and they will inevitably say communication. And usually that rounds out the top of the list with sex and money, right? Well, today I want to challenge that idea. I want to challenge the idea that you and your spouse have communication problems. I believe that many couples, most couples, have connection problems. After all the talking has been said and done, many couples don't feel any more connected to each other than when the conversation began. Besides that, in order to argue, you have to understand what the other one is saying, and you happen to like your position better. So you dig your heels in the sand and they dig their heels in the sand, and then we have this opposition or this conflict. It's not that you don't understand. You do understand. It's just you prefer your own opinion, your own thoughts, or your own idea to your spouse's idea. Listen, there are a few instances where communication may truly be the problem. I'm thinking about the husband or wife who perhaps one is German, the other is French, and they actually have language barriers. They'll have to overcome those barriers. But I would also suggest to you this: even people with different languages find a way to connect. We know it's true because they end up married to each other. So I do agree culture influences communication, but I believe that connection goes a whole lot deeper than our ability to communicate. You know, they share some of the same skills, but the skills required to connect go beyond the skills of simply being able to communicate. And so, you know, I really believe that the inability for couples to connect, or you to connect with your spouse, it can lead to sexless marriage, adultery, vice, all kinds of vices, and even divorce. But I know some of you are still thinking that communication is my biggest problem. And let me just give you this analogy, and maybe you'll have another thought. Just consider this for a moment. You have a brand new cell phone and it arrives to your home. It's charged and you're ready to start communicating with the world, right? Wrong. Your phone must be connected to a network that authorizes you to communicate with the world, including your spouse. And once on that network, you can talk freely. That's because networks are designed to facilitate communication. Networks are designed to facilitate communication. And so you can be on an Android phone and I could be on an Apple phone, and we can communicate because networks also have the ability to communicate with each other. But even still, if you're on an Apple phone and on an Android, I can't FaceTime you. So there's some things that, even though the networks are designed to communicate or work together, facilitate communication, there's some things you can only do on a prescribed network. So if I have an iPhone, I can FaceTime you. But if you have an Android, I can't FaceTime you. Similarly, there are apps that are specific for the operating system of the Apple phone, and there are apps that are specific for the operating system of the Android phone. And so when we talk about being able to communicate, there has to be a network in place that facilitates communication. And then within that network, we've got to make sure we're running the same apps or similar apps, or that the apps actually relate to one another. So my suggestion for your consideration is that most couples have difficulty connecting because they aren't on the same network, same wavelength, you might want to say. or they're running different apps. And so it makes establishing and maintaining connection with each other more difficult. But other reasons might include they could be, like I said, on the same network, but one hasn't updated their software, or one's phone might, be broken or have a bad signal. All of these things affect the ability to connect, because it undermines the ability of the two phones to communicate with each other. Well, Kim, what are you saying? Well, if I don't have communication problems and you think I have connection problems, then how did you learn? How did I learn that I had communication problems? Glad you asked. Check this out. You have researchers and they get paid, universities get paid to study things. We participate, different ones participate. Then we have writers who make money writing about the research. And then we have publishers who make money to publish the writing that came from the research. And then publishers have advertisers that promote the writing of what is being published. And then we have these things called bookstores, online or brick and mortar, but bookstores that make money by selling you the idea. And then we buy the idea. Then professors, clergy, teachers, they teach us the idea. And then looks like I have it twice here, professors and clergy. And then we have workshop facilitators. And what they do is they help us to engage the idea. Then we have counselors and therapists that reinforce the idea, and we pay for it all. So you have researchers who research the idea. They develop the idea. We participate by giving them stories and answering questions and surveys. And then we have writers who get paid to write on the idea. They write, and some of them get these hefty advances depending on how notable the writer is in the subject area or the expertise of the writer. But the writer makes money to write out a book that the publisher will make money selling, producing that idea. Advertisers sell you that idea. Bookstores, make that idea available to you in print. We buy it. And then our teachers, they teach us the idea. Are you seeing this? Then we go to workshops and seminars and all those kinds of things where we have an opportunity to engage the idea that we have communication problems. And then counselors and therapists and pastors, they reinforce the idea that we have communication problems. And guess what? You and I pay for all of that to take place. So if you ask the average person, if you ask almost any couple, what is the biggest problem in marriage, they will inevitably tell you, or at least at the top of the list, the top 1, 2, or 3 things is going to be communication. Let me leave you with this. A healthy network. See, that was a network. What I just showed you, this is a network. This is a system. This is how things happen so that you can buy into an idea. You can apply this template to anything, and you'll see the same thing is true. Just change the subject. And so we have to be sold on an idea, buy it, and then we will live it or act it out. So this too is a network. It's a system. Everything is a system. I talk about that. We'll unpack that another time. But let me tell you, a healthy network champions your freedom. It restores your power and releases to you new opportunities. A healthy network, a healthy marriage champions your freedom. Your spouse will champion your freedom. They restore your power. They reinforce. They support, promote your personal power, and they release and offer you opportunities to grow and change. And then an unhealthy network, an unhealthy relationship steals your freedom, kills your power to innovate, and destroys your opportunities to grow and expand. So you can never become more than that particular person. See why it's so important that we not just think about this thing as communication. It's a connection thing. Most husbands and wives want deep, intimate connection, spiritually, emotionally, physically, sexually. And God has made it such that we can have all of those things if we'll put first things first. You need a network, be connected to the network that will facilitate your communication. I'd love to help you with that. Love to work with you. Check out morementoring.com. I should put it up here on the screen. I'll go ahead and do that. Drop me a like or share this if you got something out of this. Leave a comment here. I'm going to go ahead and put another thing on here and go ahead and give me a moment, because I am going to put some text on here, because I want you to consider checking more mentoring.com. And guys, one day I'm gonna get a little bit more sophisticated and have it all set to go for you. Gosh, I am a project in process. Thank God that he doesn't give up on us, right? Well, here it is. You can go right here to morementoring.com and get some information, and let me help you in your marriage to learn how to connect versus simply communicate. Remember, some of the same skills are involved in both, but connection has some unique skills, and I want you to avail yourself of them. Wow, wow, wow. Guys, I just really, really appreciate, let me jump on here real quick and thank you guys so much for showing up and showing out and sharing this video. And I hope you got something out of it. Let me know if you did. Take care.